I brought up this idea of a survey because I think we need some empirical data so that we will be able to go back to the select boards, the planning board, et cetera, and say, this is what's going on. I mean, a lot of us hear word of mouth and scuttlebutt from some of the businesses that are in town, most of which are smaller businesses. Oh, it's tough to do business here, or, you know, they love Grafton, but they had these issues. So I thought, and did everybody see what I had put out? I will send after this meeting a list of the proposed questions that I have. So my idea for doing a survey is to have a multiple choice survey, about 20 questions with an essay question. So we would ask prospective businesses what types, you know, and we could even put this out to some of the existing Grafton taxpayers and town people as well. What type of businesses would you like to see in Grafton? I'd like to solicit input on folks to give us specific ideas for attracting larger businesses. I would also like to hear what they think the EDC and Grafton town officials, like the planning board, the select board, can do to raise the town's visibility as a very desirable place to do business. I'd also like to hear the pros and cons. What makes Grafton an ideal place to open a new business? Whether we're talking about location, whether we're talking about welcoming things, you know, the town itself. What challenges and impediments facing businesses that do seek to establish business here in Grafton? Has somebody had a situation where they were considering that, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen? And then what initiatives should the EDC and the town of Grafton undertake to attract new businesses? And then I would ask, you know, how can we help them? Now, I do also, from when I worked on another committee, a volunteer committee, going back 2 or 3 years ago, trying to get comps on the business side of Grafton and the school side. And I was on the municipal side. So Ed Prisby was chairing that, and we went out and got a lot of comps, did research on how Grafton compared to other towns of our size and scope. And of course, there was no definitive one-to-one, apples to apples comparison, but I have all of that data, which is pretty much, it's still good. And we can just see, okay, you know, it's good stuff to have in the background, you know, in terms of demographics and things like this. And then, Nikki, I thought where you're the real estate maven, you know, and on the tax side, that also plays into it. And I don't know about anybody else, but I really want us to attract new businesses, because every year I have a shortfall in my escrow account for my mortgage. And this year, from last year, it almost tripled. It went from $1,100 last year to almost $3,000 this year. And every year you try and pay it up front so that your mortgage doesn't go up. But, you know, as long as we are, as a community, almost wholly dependent, well, probably not almost wholly, but significantly dependent on personal real estate property taxes, we're going to be in this conundrum. So that's another reason to attract new business, to take some of the onus off, the burden off the personal property taxpayers. So Nikki, from your point of view, what would you like to?
Yeah, I like all of your questions. I wanted to ask the group, because my thought was I'd like to get the feedback from the greater community, because I think there are a lot of professionals and people who could give insight into that, you know, people that work in the business world and could have a lot of great feedback for us that maybe, you know, they just have never been asked. So that was one thing. And then I had a separate kind of thought of gathering, and I don't know if we've ever done this before, but gathering some of the business owners, putting it out to all the business owners as like a networking / how can the EDC help you grow your business, or, you know, what other businesses do you think would add to the community so that it would drive more people to come and shop in Grafton type of thing, or do business in Grafton. I don't know.
I think that's a phenomenal idea. And Ray, I don't know if we have any discretionary funds to maybe host a luncheon or something to get some of these people there, but I'd love to see something like that where we could network.
Well, you know, when you talk about a luncheon, back in 2014, there was a Grafton business luncheon that was put on, and it actually says on the website that we're scheduling next year's. And it's 2015's gone by, and the luncheon hasn't happened. But I think that's these are great ideas, and I think that we should be looking at some type of business dinner, business luncheon, business get together, drinks and hors d'oeuvres or whatever it is, you know, at Highfields or at you know, wherever. And I think that we can attract some people and talk to them and you know, let them know who we are and what we can do and how we can, you know, Kyle and I are on the TIF committee, and you know, we have done one TIF. You know, none of these other buildings that are going up have asked for TIFs or anything, which is not a bad thing, because that's, you know, we actually give up tax money for that. But it's all something that we can offer. And you know what, we do have money, so we do have a budget, and you know what I'd like to see, in just my opinion, is, you know, Laura and Nikki, if you can put your stuff together and you know, come back at the next meeting and say, okay, this is what we'd like to do. You know, I don't know how to do surveys. I mean, I've done surveys in SurveyMonkey and stuff like that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to, you know.
Well, I have my own business SurveyMonkey account. So we could host it there if that's appropriate, or if not, I guess, does the town do surveys?
Oh yeah, the town does surveys too. But you know, what I'd like to see, and again, my opinion is that, you know, you guys come back, either you know, talk together or email together, whatever it is, and come up with a list of items, questions, things that you want to do, and really, you know, the other thing that I'd like to see is that business breakfast, business lunch, business or drinks and whatever, and try to, you know, get some business owners to show up and you know, and talk to us, and really talk to us.
Absolutely.
You know, for the business gathering, I'm going to use that because we don't know what time of day it'd be. Is your target business owners, or is your target citizens? Who's your target for this meeting?
I think it would be anybody who would be interested in, you know, in business, in what they could do, what they could help us, or people who are interested in moving into town, or existing businesses that want to, you know, like All Phase Glass down in South Grafton. You know, he bought the
Polish National Home.
Polish home. And originally I was told that there were going to be condos there. Well, now they're not going to be condos. He's going to build a building down there for his business. And it's great that he's staying in town. And that's, you know, we need to help people like that.
Or people like whoever bought Grafton Inn. Like, what the heck is going on with that?
That's Baba Sushi.
So is there like a plan? Can we expect it to happen soon?
Yes. So
like it's so like dead in there.
No, what's gonna happen at Baba Sushi they have 5 restaurants.
Mhm.
And excellent sushi, by the way. They bought the entire, building, the rooms, the banquet area and the restaurant. They're going to renovate the building.
Now, is that a landmark, that building?
Oh yeah, well, it's historical, so
Yeah.
they can't do anything to the outside, but
Mhm.
not without going through the historical commission. But they're going to put in a sushi area, a sushi bar,
It's awesome.
and also then have an American side of the business also. So yeah, they are going to do it. There's no doubt about it. They're very successful in the restaurant business.
Yeah, I've heard of them before. I've just been dying to know like who bought it. I knew it was somebody who owned restaurants, but I just didn't know what was going on with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But people like that, I mean, doesn't the Uncommon Cow and Reunion, those are the same owners?
No,
Oh,
No.
Uncommon
I thought
Cow
it
and
was.
Grafton Grill.
Grafton Grill. Okay. I knew there was some connection to one of those places. People like that, I mean, they obviously are, pro Grafton and expanding their business. And I mean, people like that, I think would be great.
Yeah, and certainly Holden Farm,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
certainly some of the insurance companies like Remax, you get Perrault Nurseries. Those are fairly big businesses. And then the other thing I think we can't discount is when you have somebody like Theroux Dentist. Tina Theroux and her husband Mark bought that piece of
Yeah,
land.
they expanded their business. They used to be near the Taekwondo place.
Yes, and they moved, but they bought a whole building across the street, and now there are 3 other businesses in there. There's a hair salon. I mean, they own the whole building. There's a hair salon. There's an orthodontist. So that, out of one business, her dentistry business, which is the anchor, you now have 4 businesses there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from talking to Tina, some people, when they're trying to build, I've heard this a number of times over the last 22 years since I've lived in town. They feel like, oh, okay, well, the town put up barriers and impediments when they wanted to build something. And it took a lot of, back and forth and negotiation. And certainly I'm not privy to all of those things. And there are rules and regulations and red tape that we all have to follow. But if there are legitimate concerns that some of these existing business owners have in trying to expand their businesses, these are things that we should know about.
Yeah.
We'll be able to go back and, be a conduit and a facilitator. But yeah, so I can take what I would propose to do is put the take the first stab at doing the survey, get it to you folks within the next week, just the draft. Everybody can look at it and have input.
Mm-hmm.
Now, usually we do multiple choice and we can do a select all that apply. And the wonderful thing about these survey tools now is that within a multiple choice question, we can leave room for people to leave a comment. And we can have multiple choice where there's a single answer, with the demographics, what have you, and multiple choice questions where there's select all that apply. And then if we also give them the opportunity to leave comments and at the end do an essay question, that also gets us a lot of really good anecdotal data. And the nice thing is with these survey tools now, we can selectively get custom data cuts to find out, well, what percentage are, restaurants and pizza shops versus, what percentage do we have as a large business, which we know going into this, it's going to skew. That's going to be small. Yeah. But we'll then have the data as a foundation and a basis.
So does the town have email lists?
Yes.
Yes, they must. So And we could leave this open. Typically, we'd leave the survey open and we'd push it out a couple of times. But within the first couple of weeks or a month, we should get a lot of stuff. And what we could do as an incentive is to say, oh, the best 3 essay comments will give you like a $50 or $100 Amazon gift card, to get people talking. Well, we don't have to do that, but
Yeah, we don't have to do that.
I do it with my survey. So I'm just
No, I'm sure you do, but this is it's
I know.
municipality. We can't be handing out Amazon gift cards.
but I think within a month, if we can target putting the survey out by, say, the first week in October, then we should have good responses by the first week in November before we go into that Thanksgiving and holiday crush. So this would give us some really good data to present, Ray. It may be the select board, the planning board meeting, etc.
Yep.
And I would write up the results and a report on it with
So
anybody who wanted to help.
I think that Laura and Nikki, if you guys want to work on that,
Mm-hmm.
and if you do come up, when you come up with questions or whatever the survey questions are, send them to everybody on the committee.
Yes.
But everybody on the committee has to reply, not reply all. Okay. So in other words, if Nikki sends you something, you have to reply back to Nikki, not reply all.
Okay.
Okay, because reply all can be
create a lot of traffic
overwhelming
and confusion. Yeah.
Well, that constitutes a meeting.
It constitutes a meeting, and we don't want to get into that. So, but if you guys want to do that and you want to get back, send something out, and over the next month before our next meeting, people can send comments and questions and this and that, and maybe have it finalized by our next meeting.
Yeah, I would love to do
that.
that.
October date is not unrealistic to send it out.
And then Ray, for the gathering, whatever
Yes,
we're calling it, do you want me to try and propose something
yeah, absolutely.
everything from a place to
Yep,
a budget to
an agenda.
we would invite all that stuff? Okay.
Yeah, everything. There's a great room down the pub. That they have room. Of course, the Grafton Inn's not going to be done yet, but
Highfields has the event room.
Yeah, they have a smaller room off to the left of the bar, and
yep.
So we could do that. But I think that would be great if we can get all that information back by the next meeting.
Yeah,
and get everybody's comments on it. I think that would be fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll put a draft survey together, send it out to everybody, and Nikki, feel this way everybody can feel free to say, well, I don't like that question, or hey, how about this?
Yeah.
And then we should be able to get, with a little back and forth, get the survey done so that we can launch it and send it out by the first week in October.
Sounds good. Kyle, you have your hands up?
Yeah, there's a couple of things come to mind when we're talking about. I want to say that there was a business after hours event, and it has to have been maybe my memory's failing me, but it has to be recently, just prior to COVID, not 2014. Am I right, John? Or there was something that we had done or sponsored?
We did the Grafton's Open for Business.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's what it was.
So
yeah, the one on the website just says 2014.
So I think we did one in 2018.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Yes. Couple of things. One is the master plan is currently happening now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could do it quickly, as the master plan is being promoted, people that may attend and contribute and help with the master plan, those people are probably going to be your strongest people as far as making comments and thoughtfulness compared to just somebody who completes the survey. So I think it's September 18th, I think, is the big meeting coming up. I know that's quick, but if we could put it together before then, I think it'd be beneficial.
That's a public hearing, right, John?
Yes.
That's the first public hearing.
Well, no, it's not. It's a second working group.
Okay. Carl?
One additional thing, and again, this is prior to COVID. There was actually a large meeting, and it attracted a number of businesses and concerns about the state was looking to figure out traffic patterns and things like that on 122. And I don't know if that's involved with the master plan or what, but I know, the folks at Gaudette were wound up. We at Homefield were a little wound up at the time, and I know that Koopmans had a concern, and at the time Fitzy had a concern. I mean, they were looking to basically change the traffic patterns, et cetera. And I don't know where that stands now. I know it's still in play. It has to be, because it just doesn't evaporate. But where does that stand? Is that part of the master plan, John?
That's a state highway, and that's controlled
I understand
by the
that.
state.
Yeah.
The master plan will talk about traffic patterns, but we're not going to get involved with the state highway.
I say that because the state highway is our main thoroughfare.
Right. And I think it was the water line thing that created the whole rigmarole, where they were replacing the water line or something like that, if I remember.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to. I'll ask Dave Meridian, because there was a large function at the high school. A lot of business people came in, et cetera, et cetera.
Because it disrupted the whole 122.
Yeah, they wanted to make it basically a one-way, I think.
Yeah.
With a turnaround at one end, and that would have a huge impact on what we're doing here in Grafton.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'll ask Dave if there's any rumors or rumblings about where that all went, because I think they were doing it in stages, and they had gotten feedback, and who knows, after COVID, everybody kind of things fell off people's radar.
Right.
And I guess I'll find out where we stand with that.
Do you think?
I think it was temporary. It wasn't a permanent thing. It was temporary when they.
I think it was permanent, John.
Carl? Do you think that that's something we need to know before having this get together? Do you think it was so impactful that it'll be something that the business people will be talking about?
My thinking is it would be, but I don't know where it stands. John could be right. It could be a dead scenario.
Well,
so
put it to you this way: the fact that you nor I recall the exact details kind of lets you know where it is on people's agenda.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah. So I'll call Dave. I'll ask Dave Meridian to give me an update.
Okay.
Because those things generally, they start up, and I think COVID, like I said, changed a lot of different people's plans, and who knows where that all is going to go. But I know that 122 is still an issue for a lot of people. Just to bring up another project on 122, what's going on with the Wyman Gordon? Is that still in Lane Court?
That's in Lane Court.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be in Lane Court for years. The normal time frame is anywhere from 2 to 4 years.
Yeah, that's why people don't want to do business in Grafton.
Well, no, but that's standard. Anybody who gets a special permit can, for $2,000, you can file in Land Court, and the thing goes away forever. Eventually, something will happen there. So the concern over it, and it's not much of a concern, but they're not building, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 square foot warehouses anymore. Right now, the state of Massachusetts is flooded with warehouse space that is sitting there empty.
Sure.
Just for example, there was an article in the Telegram and Gazette, which I call an upscale Grafton News, because that's about how much news they have in there. But out at the Greendale Mall, Amazon built a warehouse out there, and it has sat empty now for a year and a half since it's been done. And right now there are no plans to use it other than, Amazon pays their taxes, but it's not creating any jobs. But there are tons and tons of warehouse space. So the chances of, that being constructed without a tenant, and they don't have a tenant because the sign is up in front of Wyman Gordon's, that they're looking for tenants. It's pretty slim right now unless something drastically changes in the market.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, go through the memory bank here, and obviously it's failing me. But Homefield actually sponsored or paid for a survey on the possibilities and the feasibility of an actual hotel in Grafton.
Yes, they did.
Uh,
They
yeah,
contributed $10,000, and
Yep.
we paid to have a private expert give us a report on that. So
Right.
What was the outcome?
No.
the outcome. Let's be positive.
Just call it the way I see it, John. I'm just going to tell you that's the way.
No.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's be very realistic, because the goal is to improve the area. We're talking about having a hotel down by Grafton Science Park, and the comments were that you need two things. One, it needs to be safe enough where your grandmother would feel comfortable walking to a restaurant. And two, we didn't have the sidewalks and feasibility to do it, and we didn't have the restaurant in the area. And kind of going back to what we were alluding to earlier, is as we develop around the science park, we need to get more mixed use type development. We need the restaurants, we need the convenience stores, we need all those things. Now, one of the things, as we alluded to earlier, is development there. The planning board is waiving the mixed use component, where they're saying just go ahead and build the housing because the builders are telling them it's not feasible. I don't have a say in that discussion, but if they're building all these houses and apartments, that needs to be the vehicle for that mixed use development and creating that area, because it's going to be way too expensive for a restaurateur who's never going to get financed unless there's some sort of major restaurant to come in and build space up there.
Well, that was the idea on 8 Pine Street. They were going to build 350 apartments and all this retail space and everything like that. And they don't, the piece of property has been for sale now for a year and a half. Even though they have all the approvals, and everything, because they don't have the money to put the project together. I've spoken to apartment developers, and they looked at the project and said, there's just no way. There's no way you can get the numbers to work. And the retail end of it is just, it's out in the middle of nowhere, to be honest with you. Even though there's a lot of people around that area, it's not a restaurant area. It's not a convenience store area. It may be in the future, but it's not right now.
Right, and it all has to come together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think as Grafton Science Park gets developed, it then becomes more feasible, because there's a direct correlation between the number of people in an area and the success of a business. Without the people, you're done.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, I didn't mean to divert the conversation. So
Well, I don't consider it diverting. I think it helps facilitate the conversation, because part of this meeting is to bring ideas together.
Right.
And yeah, we go down rabbit holes and things like that, but it helps us get to that end point, even if it's not direct.
Okay, so
I'll call Dave Meridian and find out what the state is, or where they're at with all that whole thing, and I'll report back.
Okay, great. Okay,
John, did you invite Dave Meridian to that October event?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Let me kind of, we'll talk about the Mass Bio event at number 5, so I'm
Okay,
not going to
sorry.
jump ahead.
Yep. Okay. So budget spending items. So we just talked about budget spending items or budget spending items. So we can kind of leave that one alone. We'll see,
Mhm.
what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and how we're going to pay for it at that point once we come to a decision of what we're going to do. So I put Providence Road apartments on there. There's going to be some apartments built on Providence Road. Um, that's it's the area zoned for it. It used to it was originally proposed as a shopping center, supermarket shopping center, and this was before Stop and Shop was put in by John McGill. John owns the land on Providence Road. So they're
Part
going to
of
be
Providence Road?
I'm sorry.
Which part of Providence Road?
188.
If you go down Providence Road heading to South Grafton,
Yeah, that's what
right
I
after
thought.
you go by the apartments on the left, then
Mhm.
you go by the apartments on the right. It's right there.
Okay.
Right after that. So I just wanted to put that on there because we do have a lot of proposals for apartments in town. We have them on Snow Road. We have them on Upton Road. We have them on Pleasant Street, Old Upton Road, at Millennium Drive in Centec Park, and now Providence Road Apartments. To the tune of I'd say it's got to be over 1,000 apartments.
And apartments
so-
that people will rent, not condos that they're going to buy.
No, there's nothing purchased. As a matter of fact, the Snow Road condos, the Snow Road apartments have apartment buildings and also single family townhouses for rent, all for rent. So I know that the owner of Snow Road, they own the apartments, and they're a ways away from getting their stuff done, but they build apartments to own them.
Mm.
The developer in Centec Park, they build to own. Providence Road, they build to own. 59 Pleasant Street and Old Upton Road, that company builds to own. The only one that doesn't build to own, that doesn't have a history of building to own, is the guys that are doing or looking at GSX up the street across from the fire station and down on Pine Street. Pine Street is for sale. I just wanted to bring that up because over the next 5 years, there are going to be a lot of apartments that come online in town. And I just wanted to bring that up.
What's going on Crosby?
Crosby Road?
Yeah.
Nothing. Why?
They've cleared it, and there's like all this like machinery on there.
Yeah, that's the old dump.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not fully versed in what's going on over there, but that is an old landfill over there. So they're not building anything over there. They can't. So it could be a capping situation by the state. I'm just not aware of that. Okay, John, the Mass Bio visit update.
Okay. Well, Mass Bio is basically the Chamber of Commerce for life science industry. Kendall Roland O'Connell, who has never been to Grafton, Peter Albar, I expect to come. He hasn't been to Grafton over 20 years. This is going to be very similar to the prior Grafton's Open for Business event, but the major difference is that they're going to get a tour of the life sciences type stuff research that they're being done at Tufts. Now, the benefit is it's different. The challenge is that when we get the bus, it only allows 20 people. So even if more people come to the lunch, I'm capped at 20 people. And now I'm talking to Tufts to see if it makes sense to get 2 buses. But I'm not sure if that will materialize. So as a result of the 20-person cap for the tour, we're trying to keep the number of people attending this event lower. It's like we're part of Grafton, so if we say, hey, there's no room on the bus, we're not going to take that personally because we know it's better to have the people on the bus that's going to be doing the development. So I'm not trying to invite everybody and their brother. This event is also going to be quite different because we're having the change of the guard at Tufts. So we'll be getting more people from Tufts than attended the last event. So like the vice provost and people from Medford are actually going to come out to attend this event. So we're expecting it to be beneficial and influential. We are unclear as to what Tufts' future is for the Grafton Science Park. We've heard things that Tufts is looking to develop it. And to get back to Ray, at one point we had a discussion on Sebaset, who has a lease with Tufts. It's stated in their lease that they will pay taxes on the space that they own, just like they do for the incubator space. Now, because that's being researched by different entities, I can't tell you exactly how that's currently functioning, but the town will be receiving taxes from that if they're not already.
That's the swine building, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So all we're receiving is in taxes from that is equipment taxes, and that's it. We're not receiving the real estate taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to accept that, and as I
Okay.
said, people are doing some research, so I'd rather not speak out of turn and wait until I get those answers.
So here's the thing with Tufts, and I have explained this before. I think I've explained it before, is that Tufts has the science park. They have a 99-year lease with the state, and so far the businesses that have gone into this area or businesses have gone onto their property, they are associated with the college, which they don't pay any taxes. There was, and John, maybe you know a little bit more about this, about mass development, because I know they're going to be at that meeting. There was a thing going on with mass development that they were going to take over Tufts Science Park, and that they were going to be the main developer of Tufts Science Park, and then the town of Grafton, any building built in there would receive real estate taxes. I know that is a long, drawn out process to get that to happen. But Tufts University put all of the pieces of property up for sale about 5 months ago on LoopNet, and I'm not sure whether they sold any, but it's off of LoopNet now. So Tufts is a great institution and a great college and everything, but we don't get any taxes there.
And we
Okay.
should.
It's just not helping. It's not helping. The residents that everybody else who pays their taxes. So we're going to be working on that. It's the stuff in the works, and hopefully we'll come to an agreement, and we'll be able to do something. So
yeah,
because the town promotes that science park, and it's like I look at it and I say it's like me promoting my neighbor's piece of property to be sold. It doesn't benefit me. So, but we're trying to help them out. So there's a lot of stuff in the works, and hopefully we'll get it all straightened out. And,
right.
We'll go from there. But so John, back to this Mass Bio visit. The trust me, I don't need to be on the bus. Okay.
Right. Let me kind of circle back to the Tufts thing, and not two things. One is Tufts hired a new real estate guy that was supposed to be a guru, and he was supposed to be very aggressive when it came to development. He has since come to Tufts and left Tufts. So they currently don't have a real estate person
Yeah.
right now. And we've gone from initially, say a year ago, Tufts was going to transfer the land to Mass Development or to Grafton. And then as it was sold, we were going to share in the proceeds. Then it came to, they were going to develop it and basically become a landlord. But that person's gone. So we don't know what Tufts' position is. I don't think they know what the position is. They're waiting for this new real estate person to do so. Beyond the, and real estate taxes are huge. The issue we have is Tufts owns the land, so we need to get it so somehow the town can benefit, whether it's an increased pilot, being sold, or whatever. And I do know that Mass Development has been working to see if there's a way to get it transferred out of Tufts' hands without going through the state legislature. So
Yeah,
we're working on it. Just
a long drawn out process.
exactly. Great wording.
Yep. So, John, just the date of the Mass Bio visit update. I mean, the Mass Bio visit,
October 19th.
October 19th. Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to go to the meeting, but I don't have to ride around on the bus.
Right. And just so you know, conceptually, as I work this out, I think we're gonna have this at Tufts. Joe McManus has only does special projects. So I don't know if we'll be able to repeat this thing at Tufts going on with the new guard or not. But I'm envisioning another Grafton's Open for Business being held at the Grafton, not the field house, the Grafton down the street off at the Grafton building that we own, the farm, by the farm. What's that building called?
Oh, the farm on Wheeler Road?
Community
Yes.
Harvest?
Community Harvest.
Community
Yeah.
Harvest. So in the future, we may host that at the Community Harvest where we can have more people than what we have at Tufts. And we'd still have the Elms Cafe provide the food and things like that.
Yep. And Nikki and Laura, that list of people or businesses should include Tufts that we're going to, reach out to.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have the list, John, that you can send us?
Yeah, I guess send you the email list.
Okay, and then what I think we can commit to do, Nikki, I'll circle around with you offline, and I'll try and commit to us getting the survey, the draft copy of the survey within the next 2 weeks or less, so that everybody can see it and comment on it and etc.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next item, it's available land in town. I think, and I know, John, you gave us a list of available land in town.
Yes.
I'm more interested in commercial and industrial land that's available in town and not residential. I know that there was a piece of industrial land down on Maple Ave in South Grafton. And you actually had that on their list. I think it was Mangano's Farm, and that's being houses are being proposed on that.
Right.
So,
This here is land that the assessor classifies as industrial. Now, I'm well aware, and I've eliminated a lot of stuff, but
okay.
Grafton is strange where you look through something that's industrial land, but then there are houses on it, which is what it is. It's just frustrating. When I look through at some of these owners, like the New England Power, no matter how much land it is, and they show up quite a bit, I don't think we're going to get that land out of their hands. Fisherville Development, we do have some environmental issues that are contaminating that. They are working on cleaning that. Earlier, we talked about 8 Millennium, where they're building the 30,000 square foot building.
Yep.
Some of these people have land, and we need to figure out who they are. It's like this family trust. That's kind of interesting. I don't know too much about
That's
that.
that's
That's
the
the horse
Tarian
farm.
family. That's the horse
That's
place.
the horse farm.
Are they going to sell that?
No,
No.
Okay, so that's not. Knowles,
Knowlton Farms,
Farm.
that's farmland.
Will they sell it?
No,
What about the McGill farmland that they
You
have?
wouldn't be able to build on it
He's
anyway.
he's likely build houses on that if it's John
no.
McGill.
188 Providence Road is where the apartments are going.
Right.
Yeah.
McGill. I don't know who this is, but
That's
it's
at
a very
61 Maple Ave. That's that area there's houses going on.
yeah, it's very residential.
Yeah, very.
So
But that's zoned as commercial.
it is.
Maybe they just have to get it rezoned.
Well, one of the challenges that we have in Grafton is that we aren't fully segregated where we say this is commercial, this is industrial, and this is residential, where we have residential sections bumping up against industrial land, such as on Providence Road, where we're caught up in land court. That's very common. It's like even some of the projects that are going up now, I'm quite uncomfortable with them because I find that they're too close to commercial. And once you have residents there, they're going to complain about whatever, or may complain with whatever gets developed. So we do have that challenge right now. So I'm going to stop sharing, but we're making progress. It's just we need to figure out which ones are the best pieces to develop.
Well, we can take New England Power off of there because we're never going to get those. So,
yeah, I know that.
You know, those are high tension lines that are running, and
yes,
you know, other areas, transfer stations.
Right, and then there's land
stations.
Right, and then the land next to State Street Bank, you're never gonna get that out of their hands.
No, no.
So some of that stuff.
And that's owned by Amazon now.
Right.
So, okay, well, we can update that, and John, do you have anything else?
No, I think you put quite a comprehensive agenda together. So anything I would have come up with, we've addressed.
Okay, so the results that we're looking for out of this is Nikki and Laura to do that, put that survey together, send it out to everybody, make sure that everybody sends it just back to one person, and in the comments, and then we'll have we're going to have an in-person meeting, starting in-person meetings at the end of September.
Yeah, do we have a date on that?
Hang on one second.
I think that's the 18th.
Yeah.
Which is the same date, same time as the master plan workshop. So I don't know if you're going to change that.
We can go to the 25th.
Okay, that works for me.
Does that work for everybody else?
Let me just look at my calendar real quick.
Yep. Let's see.
My camera just died.
Okay, we still hear you.
No,
Monday the 25th. Yep, that works for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my thing. So the 25th is a Wednesday.
25th is a Monday.
It's a Monday in September. You're in the wrong month.
Oh, I'm looking at October. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. I don't know what happened to my camera, but
Sound is more important than the visual.
I didn't shut it off on purpose. Okay, well, if nobody has anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Moisten in favor?
Great. So we will, oh, yes, that's, we have, I'm sorry, we have to do that by roll call vote.
Yeah.
Kyle, Laura,
Yes, aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
I'm aye. John, thank you very much for all your
Thank
help.
you, everyone.
And we'll see you, we'll look forward to those emails and we'll see you on the 25th.